Abnormal Family. We got another one we're going to go over this morning. And I think you're going to really like this one. But before we start, I'd like to say something. I'm going to be doing a series. It'll have to be a series with the amount of information that this lady has that's going to be on the show. And it's going to end with an investigation, boots on the ground, to where she's going to tell us everything that's been going on at this place. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little freaked out about what's coming up. But we have special permission to be able to enter this place that she's going to tell us stories about. We were given permission. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to be scary. Maybe taking somebody with me. I'm not real sure right now. If I can find somebody that wants to do it. Another thing, we're going to do a live on the 21st. It's going to be a very important live. It's going to answer a lot of questions. There's a lot of things going around. And we may even have a special guest on the 21st that people would think that I would never have on. And there's going to be a lot of truth told on the 21st. And I think it needs to go out there. It's time. I've been covering for a lot of things, and I think it's time that the truth just comes out. And we're going to talk about that. But today, we're going to talk about another cover-up. It's going to aggravate a lot of y'all, and it aggravated me. So let's go ahead and get into this one. Joe Cleveland Scott, at the age of 65, at about 7 a.m. in the morning. Location is Jefferson County. Waxing crescent was the moon phase at that time, which means it is the moon just after the new moon, which the moon was just becoming visible again. The offender blamed in this case is dogs. The outcome is death. So there was a fatality in this case. D.A. Roberts will probably be interested in this case. I'm going to tag him in it. I know he might watch him anyways, but he's going to like this one too. But let's go on. A man found dead on a West Jefferson County roadside was fatally mauled by a pack of dogs, authorities said. The Jefferson County Coroner's Office identified the victim Wednesday as Joe Cleveland Scott. He was 65 and lived in McDonald's Chapel community where the attack happened. Remember, this is where the attack happened. The discovery was made just before 7 a.m. Tuesday by a passerby, said Lieutenant Johnny, or Joni, I'm not sure how it is, Money. The location was Iceland Avenue and Utica. Jefferson County Sheriff deputies arrived on the scene and discovered the man unresponsive. He was pronounced dead on the scene at approximately 7:08 a.m. Money said there were 6 large dogs around Scott when they arrived. This is going to be important. It's actually really important to the case. The attack, they're saying now, was believed to have happened at 6:49 a.m. Animal control had to be called to trap the dogs before investigators could begin their probe. Listen to this very carefully. It's important. The trapping took more than an hour. The dogs did not appear to be violent and were hard to capture. Okay, so what that tells me is the dogs were running from them. They weren't trying to attack them. They were having to chase them down, try to get them caught, trying to put them in cages. That's their first report. And as you all know, the reports change as we go on to fit the narrative, and that's what I found in this story also. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and Jefferson County Animal Control are investigating. It is unusual for somebody to be attacked, Money said. My understanding from these neighbors is these dogs... This is going to aggravate y'all. I'm just waiting on this now. The dogs were destroyed. No necropsy, no testing was done. These dogs were just destroyed, okay? Because they've already blamed the dogs, right? The dogs done it. So the dogs were destroyed. They didn't do a necropsy on them or anything. Sorry, my allergies are bothering me. I try not to sneeze on you guys. The dogs, they said... Sorry. The dogs, they said, have been in the area for a while and have not been aggressive. The dogs have been euthanized. So then, I started digging. And this is what I found. Where the attack happened, it happened by a large cemetery. And there was also an illegal dump there, which made me start thinking it's by a cemetery, which I know a lot of these dogman werewolf attacks happen by cemeteries. And also, being a large illegal dump, there was probably food and trash there, which would allure things there to go through, try to find food. The dogs were surrounding the body. Now, this is where it's starting to change. Remember, the dogs were not violent. They had to run them down to catch them. Took them over an hour. Here's the second report. The dogs were surrounding the body and not allowing us to be able to get in there to do our investigation. Lieutenant Johnny, or Joni, I'm not sure if it's Johnny or Joni, it's Joni, Money with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department said, "We had to call the Humane Society to come in and trap the dogs. First reported that the dogs were not violent and also took an hour to catch them, which means they were running and not attacking." Lieutenant Money said they are investigating the death of the dog's involvement. Now, this is kind of tricky how they worded this. I caught it. A lot of your investigators will catch this. Again, they said Money said they're investigating the death and the dog's involvement. They're investigating two separate things is what they're saying here without just coming out and saying it. They're investigating his death, and then they're also going to investigate to see if the dogs were even involved is what they're saying. Now, here's where they start blaming the dogs. They seem to be in a pack-type mentality, Lieutenant Money said. Apparently a pack of strays were waiting on the cause of death to know if we are looking at the possibility. Now, here we go. We're going from dogs. Now we're going to look and see if there's a possibility of a murder, looking at the possibility that the person could have been struck by a vehicle. So now it could have been a murder, could have been a vehicle, could have been the dogs, or even the possibility that the animals even mauled the victim to death, or if the animals were even involved. But the animals were euthanized. The animals have already been killed at this point. They've already euthanized them. They do not know the cause of death. They do not know the cause of death and believe it should be apparent. The coroner says he did not know the cause of death upon the scene, that there would have to be an investigation. So that's telling me if you go up to a dog attack and you look at the victim, you're going to see dog bites, shredded clothes, you're going to see punctures, you're going to see a dog attack. I mean, it's obvious. I'm not even an investigator or a coroner, and they know these things. I know these things. You guys know these things. What a dog attack would look like. At the scene, they don't even know if this person was killed by a dog. And they're thinking, well, maybe they was hit by a car or maybe even murdered. Well, that tells me that there wasn't that much probably external damage that would suggest that a dog attacked, that there were bite marks, scratch marks, a mauling. If a car hits somebody, and I've been to those, and it's not a fun thing to see, you can tell a difference. There's a huge difference. I witnessed a guy killed right in front of me, ran over, and it was terrible. There's a huge difference between an animal attack and a car hitting you. And how these professionals that are here can't tell that just blows my mind. Sorry, it aggravates me. It does appear that the dogs may have been involved. This is the third report. They may have been involved, Money said. We don't know they were involved in a death. We will definitely be talking to the neighbors to see if they heard anything, saw anything to help us determine what happened to this man. If he was hit by a vehicle, there is a lot of blood, usually, in a vehicle, pedestrian. These dogs are going to go to an injured person. That's just what they're going to do. There's blood, there's smell, the saltiness of the blood. I won't go completely into that, but the dogs will go there. The coroner's office said the autopsy and cause of death results aren't in yet, but they should be released sometime by March 1st. I went ahead and found that, the autopsy report. Authorities say Scott was a pedestrian who was attacked by several dogs. An autopsy has found the death is due to the injuries he sustained during the dog attack. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and Jefferson County Animal Control are investigating, and the case has remained open, as it is an open investigation between the Sheriff's Department and the Animal Control. Again, you can't file a FOIA on an open case. There are so many holes in this report, so many different avenues that they took on this report. A rookie officer can go to a pedestrian vehicle collision and go to a dog attack, and you're going to know the difference. There's a huge difference. I've been to both. I've seen both. This is another huge cover-up. I hate it. The dogs were euthanized before they ever had the answer. And that seems to be the thing. Let's kill the dogs, kill the dogs, kill the dogs. What if these dogs, and you notice in a lot of these areas where these attacks happen, there's the neighbors say, well, we have a lot of stray dogs in our neighborhood, but they've never been vicious. They've been here all this time. And even me growing up, we had wild dogs ran around our town that never caused trouble. I mean, they might tear up the trash or try to get your rabbit, but they never killed anybody. What if the reason that the authorities are killing these dogs isn't because they're attacking the people, but it's because these wild dogs running loose are a food source for whatever is killing these people? Maybe the dogs are what bring this predator into the towns that causes it to hunt these dogs, because at nighttime, coyotes and dogs will howl at each other. I would assume a dog man would be somewhat like that, or a werewolf. If these dogs are howling, marking territories and all that, this thing comes into town, it goes to hunt these dogs. Human might be easier. So it takes a human at 65 years old, older, as it fits the 411 criteria, the older, weaker people. Maybe these wild animals that are running loose in these towns are a food source to these. It draws them there by the howling, the smells, the even the territory. At humans, sometimes they're just at the wrong place at the wrong time. This is also an early morning attack too, which is the hunting period, the early morning, late evening. It's just something that's starting to make me start thinking, because a lot of these cases there is wild dogs in the area, but they're not all violent. Maybe they're the food source. The sheriff department knows what they're dealing with, so get rid of the dogs. The predator moves on. It's just a theory. Thought I'd throw it out there for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. We will see you again. Friday, I'm doing a live with Calvin. Don't miss that one, guys. It's going to be a live podcast. I'll have him on. And then Saturday, I will be talking to I went blank, Dawn, and she's going to start telling us some stories on a series we're going to kick off about this eerie place we're going to be visiting. Y'all's going to love this one. And we got some really good stuff coming. I've really got blessed, guys. I've got a lot of good stories that were given to me. We're going to go investigate. We've got the okay to go do this now. I've been waiting on the okay to tell you guys it is okay. And don't forget the live on the 21st. You're going to learn a whole lot that day. But until then, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. And don't be something's dinner.